Thank you, Chair. Thank you for being here today. My questions have to do with costs and, since hearing some things in the last 2 hours, cost effectiveness of maintaining Nauru. So we've learned that there were 2 people on Nauru in detention until recently, and now they're until September, and now there are 13. Correct?
So, Senator, there were 2 people on island. We didn't say that they were in detention. There are now 11 people who are being held in the regional processing facility. So I just make that distinction that there are 11 people being detained in that facility. So there are 2 others on island.
Thank you for that clarification. What are the 2 people? Are they free to roam, are they?
Senator, they are... I'll ask Mr Thomas to help me here.
They're different circumstances for the individuals where... So I'm just trying to think the best way to explain this, noting sort of privacy reasons for the individuals.
Yeah, we're hesitating only because it's a small number of individuals, and speaking about their particular circumstances could well identify people and be an invasion of privacy. They are in different stages of arrangements with the Nauruan government, which meant that they were unable to leave Nauru earlier this year.
So they're not in detention, but they're living in Nauru?
They're not in the regional processing centre, so as part of the regional processing detention arrangements, they're not part of that in terms of their location.
Okay. How much is it costing taxpayers to maintain Nauru as an offshore processing facility for asylum seekers per year?
I might need the assistance of the CFO, but in the
Afternoon, Senator. In relation to regional processing, the portfolio budget statement 23-24 lays out the program budget for IMA offshore management, and for 23-24 the budget is $400 million.
400 million, thank you. What is the capacity in terms of the number of people it can hold?
Apologies, Senator, could you please repeat that?
What's the capacity of the Nauru facility in terms of the number of people it can hold?
It varies, Senator, depending on the makeup of any individuals in that. So I guess there are a number of facilities in Nauru associated with regional processing.
What's the total capacity?
It will depend on the makeup of any grouping. So family groupings, for example, different genders, different ages, there might be requirements to house people differently, so it just depends on the makeup, but it's variable. And different sites will come online at different times to accommodate different numbers of individuals depending on the makeup.
So I understand it's complex. What would be the rough estimate of in practice, what you could hold there at Nauru?
I think, Senator, I hesitate to give you an estimate of the number just because it goes to operational capability.
How many single males could be held there?
For the same reason, Senator. Putting that number out in public will potentially breach operational sensitivities.
Well, let's go then to the arrivals, because I think a few of us were caught by surprise that there have been arrivals. How many new arrivals have arrived since May 2022 to Nauru? Since May 2022, yeah. Just the recent 11. That's it? Okay, thank you. So that's September. Can you give us the breakdown by gender and age? Senator, as noted to the previous Senator, I'm hesitant to provide that level of detail. I'll take it on notice and I'll come back to this committee. Thank you. Also, their source in terms of where they boarded the boat and their country of origin. Same as previous to, Senator. Any operational questions, I'd ask those be directed to the ABF at the next outcome.
So your figure of $400 million per year to cost, as a cost, is that reasonable to maintain an offshore facility?
The short answer is yes. In terms of the requirements to maintain facilities and services, noting that the enduring capability requires a certain baseline level of capability to keep it at a ready state.
Right, so the key minister is to ensure that Australia selects who enters and we allow no security risk, correct?
Well, I said before that I'm confident that the security issues surrounding individuals are taken into account by ministers.
Right, so the key is to ensure that Australia selects who enters our country.
Yeah, that's obviously the Australian government's position.
And a big part of that is make sure that there are no security risks coming in.
Yeah, I mean there are always, whatever type of entrant we're talking about to Australia, there are basic health and security checks that are undertaken.
Okay. Surely, Minister, final question, Chair, the best way to reassure the people as to whether or not Hamas sympathisers are coming in is to produce the facts. And that's all Senator Lambie was asking for.
Yeah, there are, and surely the best way to not inflame the community is to have some evidence for making those sorts of claims like what you're making now, Senator Roberts.
Well, unfortunately, with this misinformation and disinformation bill and so on being pandied around by the Labor government, Senator Lambie said quite clearly to you she got inside information. She's not going to give you the names.
I know, and we are getting this matter checked, but Senator Roberts, I would encourage you and all senators to be really, really sure of what you're saying if you're going to suggest that terrorist sympathisers are entering Australia. That is a very big call to make.
Well, that's an inflation. That's an inflation of what I said.
At a time when the community is really worried, understandably, around the Middle East conflict, and we're seeing a lot of tension within the community, it doesn't help to suggest, without providing evidence to back it up, that
Chair,
terrorist sympathisers
I did not
are entering the
suggest
country.
anything. I was supporting Senator Lambie's call, and Senator Watt, what you're saying means that you need to be very, very clear and very, very prompt.
We've got a bit of an update on this matter, and it might be helpful for Ms.
Did you hear what I
Foster.
just said?
Yeah.
You need to be clear and prompt in your answers and not make sensational
Well,
Senator
we
claims
are.
about the Senate.
Senator Roberts.
We
you
are. Sorry.
Senator Roberts, the minister is attempting to answer your question while you're interrupting him doing so. So if we could get that update, that would be helpful, I
Ms.
think.
Foster has an update, yeah.
Yep.
So, Senator, we undertook to get back as quickly as possible in response to Senator Lambie's question. I can provide an assurance that no one with security or terror links has been brought to Australia for a temporary purpose. I understand Senator Lambie may have been informed that there were some amongst the cohort who had character concerns. That's a much broader definition. The ministerial intervention process allows consideration for management in Australia for individuals with character issues, including keeping them in held detention. Some of these, of course, may have been resettled in third countries.
Thank you, Ms. Foster.
Thank you.
Thank you, Chair.
Thank you very much, Senator Roberts.